It's called Chosen. First he squinted, then he squeezed. On the subway, you hope it is all innocently done, as a means of adjusting or to just fit. Since the squinting came first, and he was across the pole from me, I noticed casually, and my first impression was that he had a difficult day and now this daily grind. Others often just look intense or resigned, or some even smile as if in sympathy with all we endure on the subway during rush hour. This squinting came with his face pinching together. If it were me with that grimace, I'd be holding tears back. Halfway to 14th Street, he claps his hands around mine on the pole. Huh? He was a rather good-looking young man, lovely linen pants and shirt, somewhat longish, lightish color hair, kind of flowing and clean, and a very hands-on face, no pun intended. He did not have a briefcase or backpack with him. He was clean. I stared at him, not moving, mouth agape. What should I do? The grip was increasing. He was holding tight. His face was no longer squinting, nor collapsing on itself. He was looking straight into my eyes. But I did not think he could see me. Perhaps he was imagining someplace else or someone else. I felt I had to be there to get him past this moment. I get out at 14th, but not now today. Was anyone else witnessing this event? I could not turn my head as I had to hold his glance. I felt safe, but was convinced if I was not still and engaged, it could be disastrous. I guess people thought we were together because nothing goes unnoticed in New York City. All the way to West 4th Street, we stood there with the same intensity. I continued to look him straight in the eyes, but I hoped I put a gentle, caring look on my face, working up to a smile. At West 4th Street, a few subway cops got on the train and came and stood around us. This young man's motions did not vary. He did not react to the intruders. Crushes of more incoming subway riders just pushed us both closer to the pole. The train spends a few minutes longer at this station as many other direction changes happen here. The subway cops are still lingering, but on the platform. I realize, just before the train is about to close the doors, that he let go of one hand and increased his grip on the other, and he pulls me off with him. We proceed up the stairs to within the empty-ish hallways, yikes, but then down again. We're on the uptown train yet again and resume our positions. Now, I am engaged. Is this art? I ask myself. Are we being photographed or video? I start to look around to see the other involvements of the passengers. I do not see anyone who looks like they care. Maybe he has a camera on him. Wow, I hope he gets a good shot of our hands, the telling bit. Include the signs, I say to myself. They are important to this story, the B and the D. Both art and the police need locations. If I wind up dead, those videos will remain. An artist or maniac has too much ego to destroy his work. But will I end up dead? I did let go of his gaze and survived. I think he is an artist. I am obviously going with it. I re-engage him. I smile. I've convinced myself that this is art. I even dare to say, but to no avail, what is your name? See if I recognize if he's famous. His eyes remain out to pasture while staring at me, so I realize that I do not have to stare back. So I start looking around again with the intention of trying to get someone's attention. Funny, that is not happening. No one notices or seems to care. Funny for a subway ride. Usually, even behind the downward cast eyes, pretending to be patient and humble, people are noticing everything. It's a matter of protection. Suddenly, he starts spreading his fingers wider, which stretches his hand over more of my wrist and arm. This seems ever more serious. Hence, I interpret this as a message to stop looking around. So I toe the line and look into his eyes again, and no longer smile, but questioningly, expressly, make my willingness clear on my face. What is the matter with you? Do you even question why you? That is my internal dialogue chastising. I am now mad and getting more frightened. If he was not so damn attractive, take that back. Yikes, what if he looked like what he's actually doing? He has made me a captive. We're on the local now, heading back uptown at rush hour, so the train will get more and more crowded, then empty, then crowded. But He has a plan. He drags me off at 50th Street and we pick up the D uptown. It's one stop to 59th, and then it's the express to Harlem. Excuse me, sir, hello. And his grip starts to hurt. I'm speaking low, but getting insistent. Hey, I'm all up for this art piece. Love the idea. Where will it show? His eyes focus in on me. He rumbles with laughter, and his grip loosens a bit. I'm hopeful. Silly, I feel rather flattered to be chosen. Are you busy, he says. His voice is deep and serious. I'm so taken aback by his speaking to me, and he sounds good. I am under his spell, obviously. In another few minutes, I gather the nerve to say, well, where are we going and why? Is this art? Again, a low rumble of laughter, but it sounds canned. I'm not convinced it is from him. Is he real? Call me art, he says. Art! See? Art! I start looking around for his camera somewhere on him. Where? After 59th Street, the train empties, and then if you do not act quickly, you do not get a seat for 50 blocks. He knows this too, because he pulls me into a two-seater. He sits me down next to him with his left hand still tightly gripping my arm above the wrists, and his right arm around my shoulders, grasping the shoulder. He smells interesting. Some famous scent he's wearing. Musk from Kiehl's? Couldn't be more esoteric. This man is so right. Okay, now I'm getting unnerved. This thing has been going on so long, I mean too long. What is up with this guy? So I tried to unhand him from me physically, but it was like a hand off, other hand on, tighter type of game. Then I decide to appeal to him. Art, I say, Art, it's time to let me go. Or explain yourself. He did that gurgle laugh again. Art, do you want me to start yelling? Let everyone know this is a kidnapping? Okay, an abduction. Very quietly and with a low voice he said, yes, because I am art. I had to think hard about this now. Our next step would mean theater. Do I know how I would stage this dramatic action? We have arrived at 125th Street. I get up, and that drags him with me to the other side to get the D downtown again. He's still clinging awkwardly to my arms. Once on the train, we find our original positions at the pole, and it is like we are starting all over again, engaged. I decide to wait until we are leaving the 59th Street station to stage my coup. So all is status quo till then. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Art. Get out your cell phones and start recording. Let me invite you to come in close and show the world our hands and our faces and what's going on here. Will we escape from each other or not? Talk to us, then send those videos to the networks. This is Art. And on it goes.